Okay. Looking good. Yay, is it
Okay.
not going?
Looking good.
Okay. Nope, okay. But regardless. Okay. Just need to make sure the stream was up properly. Oh, good grief. Why is it asking me to sign into my own? Why is it asking me to sign into my own mess? Oh, whatever. Okay. Okay. So, testing, testing, 1, 2, 1, 2. Really? I can't even just leave it up and just. I popped the chat out specifically so I can. And I can't even test it. Okay. Yeah, it's working. Okay. Get over it. Get over it, Reflin. Get over it. Okay. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Ephemeral One, and welcome back to something a little different. Today is actually my birthday. I am currently now 37 years old. I spent most of today just relaxing and streaming, but I felt in the mood to watch anime. I'm not entirely sure which one I want to start with, if I'm perfectly honest, but I felt like watching anime and I'm going to share it along with all of you. So what I figure was what I'll do is put it on and then put an image over the screen and we can just watch along with me. I'll talk about it, I'll tell you if I pause, that kind of thing. So, now the hard part. What's the first anime I want to watch with you all on my channel? That's the question. And I figured I'd pull up my watch list on Crunchyroll and we'll start with that. So, let's let's just put it in alphabetical order. That's the easiest way. Okay. I have watched a lot of anime. And the new season isn't filling me with any major I need to watch anything. So let's go back and rewatch some stuff I may enjoy. Let's see. So, I doubt anyone's actually watching, as this is just the usual me talking into the void, but let's watch some anime. So, I'll talk about each one I can think of that I would feel up to watching. A Centaur's Life is an interesting kind of thought experiment, if nothing else, of how would society develop in a world that didn't have humans but had what you would consider human hybrids? Or humanoid species that grew up alongside each other. It's actually a pretty interesting theory. Let's see. A Place Further Than the Universe is a interesting emotional journey about reconnecting and connecting with people. Afro Samurai is a sort of a mature with the sort of in the sense of what a teenager finds mature. That's the best way I can think of it. There's a point where as a teenager you think anything that is violent, bloody, is mature. That's what Afro Samurai is. It's the immature taste of what is supposed to be mature. I don't know why a Heron San. I don't know. I think I just clicked that by accident at one point. I don't remember it being that particularly interesting. A Ho Girl is an extremely lighthearted, silly comedy. Just kind of goes over how dumb one girl can be. And how she can kind of drag down everyone else around her. Akudama Drive. Okay, when talking about Akudama Drive, the best thing I can do is pull up the actual page. And oh, nope. Okay, crap. Okay, try this again. Alphabetical. Okay. Akudama Drive, the best thing I can suggest. What? Okay. The names of the titles of the episodes are all like movies. This is a moviegoer's anime. Like 7, Reservoir Dogs, Mission Impossible, Speed, Dead Man Walking, Brother, The City of Lost Children, Black Rains, The Shining, Babel, War Games, and Akudama Drive as its own final thing. If you like high concept, low intelligence 80s action movies that are with a lot of explosions, this is it. This is one of those animes. Angels of Death. How to put it? Angels of Death is, once again, it's a immature person's idea of what mature is. It is not horrific in this. It acts like it wants to be completely horrific, and then you find out that the people who are horrified, it's just like, there's 100 different ways to murder someone. Yeah, there kind of is. Another is another type of horror, actually terrifying on a more conceptual level and really brutal for what it is. Like, yeah, if you like horror, this is your shit. Appare Ranman. I have yet to actually sit down and watch this, but from everything I've seen, it's kind of like a cross-country race in an Old West style that's really over the top. Interesting. Arakawa Under the Bridge is kind of like this grounded, otherworldly comedy of weirdos who just kind of gather together. Are You Lost belongs in the group of, well, cute girls doing shit. Like, it's just cute anime girls doing stuff together. Only in this case, the stuff together is trying to survive on a deserted island. And one of them's dad is but of course one girl has a dad who taught her from a very young age how to survive in extreme conditions. So, it's her helping the other girls. One of my absolute favorite animes, Ascendance of a Bookworm. It's actually an isekai, but that's not the focus of it. And it's a lot of interesting and fun world building, and a lot of really good reflection on the history of literature and the history of the way societies were built. That is a high chance that this will be tonight. Asobase, Workshop of Fun. This is an anime that basically sits back and is 3 girls just trying to have fun. And if nothing else, the faces in this show are meme-worthy all on their own. So, absolutely, that's a fun one, lighthearted. Assassination Classroom. I'm not even going to spoil what that is, because you know what? That's one of those go in blind. I'm not going to tell you a goddamn thing. If you want to on your own time, go into Assassination Classroom blind and just don't even turn your brain off. Just process what you are watching. Oh. Okay. Then Bake Monogatari. Okay. I would have to have someone donate a lot of money to me to do Bake Monogatari with you guys. Not because I don't like the show. No, I love Bake Monogatari. But I am going to have to piss off so many people if I do Bake Monogatari. Because I will have to stop endlessly to explain and appreciate that this show is shot like a high-end French movie, and it's just shots and scenes that are so well put together, but are such other nonsense that you have to take a moment and explain what they're doing and why it's important. Because even the dumb bits that are done as jokes actually contribute to the overall story in really stupid ways. It's not a, you need a 900 IQ to understand this kind of thing. It's a, you have to sit back, stop every now and then, and cover what's happening. Because there's a lot that just goes way over your head the first time you watch it. I love Bakemonogatari. I could not be cruel enough to watch that. You guys would have to pay me to sit down and drive you all crazy. That's not one of those things. Banished from the hero's party, I decide to live a quiet life in the countryside. Yeah. This is how you do a stupidly long title, but still have fun with it. This is a lot of fun, and this is well done. I love this fact right here. Look to your left and right. No, these are not the same series, and they did not double post. There have been 2 versions of Bartender, the anime. One before the manga was finished, and one after. By 2 different companies. It is really funny to me. Both of them are good, but they are a slow burn sort of watch. It is a lot of fun. Bayonetta, Bloody Fate. If titillation was an anime, and Witchblade didn't exist, this would be the worst of it. That's all I'm going to say. Beast Tamer. Harem waifus. Harem / power fantasies. Banished from the hero's party, but less competently made and overall just more harem-y. And yeah. Beelzebub. A light comedy punch-out sort of anime. Berserk, the Golden Age arc. Rest in peace. Black Butler. The Fujoshi in me just wants to go, yeah, this is an option. For as much queer baiting as there is, it really is just not, it's a good series, but it's nothing that hits me real hard. Black Lagoon. You know how I talked about 80s action movies for Akudama Drive? Black Lagoon is the 80s anime movie. And this is actually one of my actual favorites, and I will count as an actual full-on, mature anime. So, Blend S. A girl gets hired to work at a cafe. And it's just kind of a light comedy about all the weirdos that work at the said cafe. It's a pretty good, relaxing show overall. Very comfy. I would suggest it. Blood Blockade Battlefront. One of my favorite animes because it is basically New York City, but what if monsters? And it is so well done. Bullfurry, I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense. AKA breaking an MMO. Lot of fun, really lighthearted, really well done. Bungo Stray Dogs. The problem is, I will refuse to do Bungo Stray Dogs until I have a second monitor. My computer can only support one. Once I have a second monitor, Because I'm going to have to keep constantly looking up literature references, that all the literature references they make in Bungo Stray Dogs, to try and make sense of them. Plus, I'd love to get a different microphone because I can tell, because you guys would be able to hear my key presses. Oh well. Burst Angel. Yuri baiting of the highest caliber. That's all that sits in the back of my head when I think of it. Caligula. The title alone just made me laugh, so that's why it's on this watch list. Campfire cooking in another world with my absurd skill. Guy gets isekai'd, basically can buy food, and that's his power. In the stupidestly most useful ability, but he gets thrown to the side, and it's a whole thing. Still, really cool. A lot of fun, lots of food porn. So if you're hungry, don't watch this. Cardfight Vanguard. Yoi baiting of the highest caliber. The Cells at Work. Regular and Code Black. Biological learning about your biology, bit by bit. It's actually interesting. Yeah, I could definitely vouch for that. Chainsaw Man... Hell no. No. Again, Chainsaw Man is the gatekeep. I get to start... You guys are going to have to pay me to sit down and watch Chainsaw Man with you. Not because I don't like it, because I like it too much. Oh god, here we go. Chillin in my 30s after getting fired from the Demon King's army. This is the example of an author who basically lived out his personal wishes and fetishes. Frankly, bravo. You got an anime series made from your fetish. I really can't begrudge anyone who has that. Let's see. Citrus. It's not Yuri baiting if they're actually lesbians. Claymore. The best kind of Yuri baiting. Corpse Princess. I haven't watched it in so long I barely remember it. It was decent, I remember, just nothing that sticks with me overall. Cowboy Bebop. Okay, this is a bit divisive because Cowboy Bebop can be, depending on who you ask, overrated or the greatest thing in the world. I'm going to say this. It is a fantastic watch and one that I absolutely appreciate. I personally consider it a 10 out of 10 anime. I will understand if other people have other opinions. That being said, this is one of the few things in the world that can make me cry. The ending to this show makes me cry like a bitch every single time. Maybe I'm just that weak. Or maybe it's just that good. Dan da dan. Dan 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 dan. Yeah, it's Dan da Dan. It's the most popular thing. Okay. It was one of the most popular anime coming out last year. And it is absolutely fantastic. Visually, writing, everything's awesome about it. It is definitely one of the top that came out last year. Danganronpa no. Sorry, folks. This is a hard no. Danganronpa 3 I refuse to do until I have actually played Danganronpa 1 and 2 on the channel. So, and I refuse to do that because for a long time, if only for one reason and one reason only. I still remember the way the game goes. And I don't, so you won't get any fun reactions out of me. So unless you guys find me someone who has never played Danganronpa that I can guide/torture with as we play, it's not happening. So, yeah. Because then I have every intention that if I had somebody to work with, I would guide them through Danganronpa 1, 2, the games, have them watch Danganronpa 3 in the proper order, for those who know, you know, and then proceed to do Danganronpa V3. Well, after we do, of course, Ultra Despair Girls. Yes, I remember that game exists. Yes, I believe it needs to be played. No, I don't enjoy every aspect of it, because it can be incredibly creepy. But I have to respect the story it tells overall. So, yeah. Overall, yeah, you want that? You guys gotta find me somebody who hasn't played the games and I can sit there and torture. Dead Mount Deathplay. The true reverse isekai. And it does an amazing job with it. One of the most hilarious and fun action comedy, just overall animes I've seen in a while. Dead Man Wonderland. Look, just listen to the opening. It's really damn good. Death Parade. Again, listen to the opening. It's that damn good. Delico's Nursery. I got through the first episode, and I gotta go back and watch more. So we won't do that tonight. I'll do that on my own time, but overall pretty good. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba. Demon Slayer. It doesn't do anything wholly new, but what it does do is so polished, it is fantastic, and Studio UFO has done some of their best work visually with this goddamn anime. I just have to say that much. Desert Punk. If you ever want a show where you can simultaneously hate and enjoy the main protagonist, this is Desert Punk. Devil May Cry. No. It's really good, but it's the Devil May Cry series, and without the feel of the game, it just doesn't feel right to me. Didn't I say to make my abilities average in the next life? Do it yourself, Yuri baiting. Like, construction Yuri baiting. Oh my god. Like, yeah. Construction Yuri baiting. So if you've ever had a thing for girls with rough hands who really like to just build you like a table to say they love you, this would be the anime for you. You would be amazed how broad I just described a group of women. How broad that went. Dragon Goes House Hunting. Lighthearted comedy. Mostly D&D and like adventure jokes. If it's your alley, feel free. Drugstore in Another World, mediocre. Elegant Yokai Apartment Life, kind of an interesting slow burn. Nothing especially amazing about it, but just like little slow burn, like finding yourself coming of age story. That's the best way to describe the coming of age story. Ergo Proxy. Remember how I talked about Cowboy Bebop being a 10 out of 10? This is about a good 6 or 7. Proof that you can't capture lightning in a bottle twice. Is Stab Life the Great Escape? It's not perfect. It's not a great show. But it is one that you will sit there and after you've watched it, you'll go, it's stupid. It's not that well animated. But by God, I laughed. I laughed. Oh boy. Fairy Gone. I got an episode in and I just kind of went, Fairy Ranmaru. Oh boy. Confusing plot, double standards, and just... It is admiring pretty boys and just it is nothing for, if nothing else, admiring pretty boys. That is what this show is about. It is a wild goddamn ride. Fate Grand Carnival. This is kind of your reward if you start to dip your toe into the Fate series, and you watch a few of the series. Then go and watch Grand Carnival, because then the jokes will start to make sense, and it starts to get really, really painfully silly how good it gets. But it's basically, yeah. Fate Stay Night. Probably where you need to start, if you want to get into the Fate series, which is, Fate Strange Fake. It's good. I'm just waiting for the rest of it, really. Or, the main body of it. Fate Zero. It's one of those cases where watch the first movie, then go to the prequel. That is my suggestion for you. Fire Force. Fire Force is the approximation in my head and will always be the guys who do Fire Force is basically every B-list character. Like, he's part of, like, the main hero's team, but he just has, like, a quirky power that just works on a one-off angle. That's Fire Force. Like, everyone has only one real big ability, but these are the guys who are putting their all into that one ability. That and they're all kind of dumbasses in some way or another. Fist of the North Star, the grandfather of so many action anime. If you don't know what that means, just watch a couple episodes and you'll get the gist of it. Oh boy. Fluffy Paradise. Woman gets isekai'd. I'm not going to give you anything more than that. Woman gets isekai'd. And it is an interesting, and what her priorities are hilarious. Flying Witch. This is the kind of show you kind of just want to pull up, relax, kick your feet up, and just kind of watch shit happen. Like, it's not serious in any way. There's no high stakes, but shit just kind of happens. Frankenstein Family. I have to get through it myself before I can give you any kind of real. Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. It is one of the most melancholy shows that just makes you feel good. Alright, I'm going to skip this next line of shows just because, frankly, none of them were going to happen tonight. Fruit Baskets. That's another one I'm like, you're going to have to pay me. I'm sorry, folks. Fruit Baskets, Ga-Rei Zero, Yuri baiting of the worst kind. And probably illegal kind, too. And Ghost in the Shell Arise. It's not the Ghost in the Shell you want. Ghost Stories. Ghost Stories is an infamous anime. Ghost Stories is an infamous anime because the English dub, they didn't give a damn about. So they basically told the voice actors, do whatever you want, just get through the episode. So what we got was one of the most batshit, unhinged goddamn things we've ever gotten. And it's the reason nobody watches this with the English dub. Nobody. Nobody watches this with the Japanese dub, rather. Sorry. It is purely the English dub because the voice actors had no filter and they just went off. Gintama. Look, this is so goddamn... Look, Gintama is so goddamn long. There's so much you can say about it, but I will say this. It is proof that sometimes the comedy guy actually knows what he's doing. Because this series has simultaneously some of the most lazy jokes in the world, and then some of the most hype action sequences ever. Gleipnir. I mentioned someone making an anime about their fetish. That is Gleipnir. That is Gleipnir through and through. Is someone managed to make their fetishes into an anime. And got it past enough people to keep going. It is phenomenal how horny this show is. It is truly phenomenal. Goblin Slayer. Our protagonist hates goblins. To what degree and to what extents he will go to kill goblins is what you're watching this for. That's simple. Golden Kamuy. I have to finish this. I have to actually sit down and watch this myself. Golden Kamuy, I've heard, is really good. And the concept was very unique of a treasure hunt, that's scattered across various people and just really interesting. And the characterizations are supposed to be really good. Gosick. Don't remember much of it. Grimgar, Ashes and Illusions. I believe it was like a bunch of people get isekai and it's them trying to survive in like an actual brutal reality version of it. Gungrave. Man too angry to die at the anime. Gunslinger Girl. I have had various experiences with that show. But what I can tell you is this. Gunslinger Girl is probably one of the most interesting conceptually and well-executed animes. I may have to go back. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it to see how I feel about it now. Handyman Saito in Another World. Would you believe, for an isekai, this is actually one of the best isekais I've seen? Like, it's up there. It's well done. The story is both hard-hitting at times, but lighthearted. And honestly appeals to the idea that some things are both universal and still willing and being able to and willing to use skills and be flexible with your skills makes a difference. Heaven's Design Team. Lighthearted sort of comedy about how animals were designed and evolved. It's alright. Hell Girl. I'm so sad the rest of the series are kind of in limbo. I would love to sit here and watch Hell Girl with you all. To pick apart the moral and ethical questions of it. It's so well done. But unfortunately, we only have the 4th season. So, we have what we have, folks. Hell's Paradise. High action. Kind of a loose, weak plot, but still overall visually well done. Really striking visual style. And at least it's interesting. The Hellsings. Look, they're both fucking amazing. The music for them is amazing. I will always stand by that. I will prefer Ultimate just because it tells the whole story, but even the original Hellsing is well done. Hensuki, are you willing to fall in love with a pervert as long as... Yeah. Trying to remember. As long as she's a cutie. Oh, right. The harem has all the fetishes. Right. The harem's fetish ones. Oh. Okay, this is like the opposite of a power fantasy where it's like, well, no, I'm just that smart, see? How a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom. This is the mental equivalent of a power fantasy of, see, I was just that smart. I got everything figured out. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Is him stroking himself off to how smart he is to reform the kingdom. How heavy are the dumbbells you lift? Well, a fitness anime. I mean, yeah, no, it's a fitness anime with cute girls working out. Yeah, that's about it. Lots of jokes, but yeah. How to keep a mummy. If you're looking for something mindless and adorable, there you go. That is how to keep a mummy. Hunter Cross Hunter. Look, if I have to pitch you why Hunter Cross Hunter is a legendary anime, I'm gonna just suggest you watch even like the first few episodes. If you don't get it from there, that's fine. It's not for you. But I will say this story does go in many places, and it is one of the best. There are points where it is just one of the best anime stories that just hits hard, especially if you like more fighting focused anime. Hyoka. If you like mysteries, not necessarily murder mysteries, but just mysteries overall, Hyoka is a fun little romp about a logical detective kid figuring things out because he has a crush on a girl he can't get out because he can't get her out of his head. I can't understand what my husband is saying. Weeb marries office lady. Office lady is stuck not understanding the references Weeb husband makes. Overall, adorable show. Very quick. Episodes are like 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. Like they're fast. Let's see. So then if I start over, well here, because what I plan to do is when I put the anime on, there. That should cover most of it. Okay. So like, just to give you an example. Alright. Then just going to turn this down a bit. Okay. So then let's go. All right. And there we go. Oop, wrong thing. Okay. So then you guys should only be able to see that. And then all I have to do... So, episode 1, it's a grand total of 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And the husband... Yep. I won't be able to make you happy. Because there's not a gap between our ideals and... Well, I'm in this dress, so I've attained my happiness as a woman for the most part. They fell in love. So two independent people. Aw. So they got married with no expectation. They had a lot of sex after this. After he saw her in this bikini. Yeah, because it's one of. Uh-oh. Call a blogger. There, yeah, it's pausing at 2 minutes and 1 second. Yeah, so it's basically endless anime references to other anime, and is basically the husband making various anime references. All right, hit and play. You can. It works. So, yeah, he's an internet reviewer. They went out for a date, so of course it ends in sex. And the cute little animation of them in the bath together. Yeah. But yeah. But yeah, folks, that'll be it for that one. So, let me put that back. Let me put that away. Put that away. Alright. So yeah. That's basically what I plan to do, so just give an idea. I doubt anyone actually is watching, but whatever. I can't understand what my husband is saying is a lighthearted, just kind of adventure in a married couple's life, I guess is the best way to put it. And they got married not because they were head over heels in love with each other, but because they were comfortable and kind of knew what to expect from each other. And just kind of worked out for them. And the husband is basically nothing but nonstop anime references. So, if you're a big anime fan, that is a pretty good show to watch. Let's see. Then we're back to I shall survive using potions. effectively, it's another isekai, but one that actually is self-aware enough to realize that they're just kind of the main character is just kind of making shit up as she goes, and is just getting away with it. I'll become a villainess who goes down in history. Basically, again, girl gets isekai'd and effectively wants to be the greatest villainess ever. And unfortunately, I have a weakness for these shows. The becoming the villainess and then what you do as the villainess is really funny. Let's see. Then I'm giving the disgraced noble lady I rescued a crash course in naughtiness. Less, not an isekai, but actually one of the shows where it's already just located in a fantasy world, and it's a slow burn, stupid romance between someone who is outwardly evil and is in fact just a total pushover, and a desperate, damaged girl. It's actually pretty well done. There's a lot actually there that you could talk about regarding like PTSD actually, which is interesting. I'm in love with the villainess. It's not even Yuri baiting. It's more it's a little too close to home for some people where gay girl is in love with straight girl and kind of just is happy to be with her, be around her. And yeah. So that may hit a little too close to home for some people. I'm the villainess, so I'm taming the final boss. Again, woman reborn as the villain. And yeah. The title says it all. I've been killing slime for 300 years and maxed out my level. Yuri Harem. That's all I'm going to say. Yuri Harem. If it's for my daughter, I'd even defeat a demon lord. This is such of a sweet, wholesome series that I dread the day they ever announce a second season, if they ever did. Because this is one of those shows that it is sweet, it is wholesome, it is tender, and that title makes me fucking anxious for what they might do to that little girl. There is something dread in the back of my head. In the land of Leodel. Very confused series on where they were gonna go with it. Where person dies, gets isekai'd. But gets isekai'd in the world, I think it's like 100 or 1,000 years after the events of the game. But then she's isekai'd with all the powers from the game, and she still has all the equipment she had as an endgame player, and yeah, there's some weird power fantasy stuff going in there. Inspector. Bravo. One of my absolute favorite anime of mine, if for nothing else than the pun that is this English title. Spectre is investigating supernatural things. Very well done. Interviews with monster girls. Wholesome, only slightly horny series about some girls who have unique statuses because of their being like what they call demi-humans, or basically monster girls, and what goes into their regular day-to-day lives. Inugami to Nekoyama-san. Kind of like what they did with I Can't Understand My Husband. The jokes come too fast to really process and let them soak in. So, this is a case where they kind of just directly took the manga panels and just animated them slightly to make, and then just kept the same format of the manga, because the original format was a 4-koma, what they call a 4-koma, whereas 4 screens, and the joke is like set up on the first three and then lands on the fourth. They kept that format for the anime, which doesn't hold, where that style doesn't hold up as well. So, yeah. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. If you don't know anime, that's fine. Even if you don't know anime, you know JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. How can I say that? You know JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Find anyone who knows anime, ask them about it, and they will just shake their heads. There are countless references to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is such of a wide-spreading anime. It is so bizarre, and its title says it all. Anyway, Jormungand. Remember how I described Black Lagoon as the 80s anime, the anime for 80s action movies? That goes just as much for Jormungand. That goes so much as Jormungand that the writers are two different. The writers of Black Lagoon and Jormungand have agreed that their series actually coexist in the same world. Not while they were developing it, after the fact. All their fans said, yeah, these two have to exist in the same world. They're just too similar. And you know what? The artist agreed, so that is now canon to them. These two shows are actually together. Jujutsu Kaisen. You want to punch ghosts? This is how you punch ghosts. Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Effectively a zombie apocalypse scenario. Well, extremely well animated, just a lot of fun. I don't know why I want to call it this, but Kojigeki Shoujo is a guilty pleasure for me. It is an anime about girls trying to get into this prestigious school where the only thing they teach you is how to be an actor on this stage and do stage shows. And it is fantastic for what it is, and it's a lot of interesting ways. And it's about these girls entering and figuring out their roles and what they want to do. Honestly, I personally love it. I call it a guilty pleasure. I don't know. I don't enjoy it I enjoy it for the art, I enjoy it for the music, and I love the story of them. You know, the characters trying to pursue their ideals. Kaguya-sama Love is War. A comedy anime among comedy anime. Technically not even a harem. It is just a group of teenagers in the horniest part of their lives trying to figure out what the fuck is love. Baby don't hurt me. Baby don't hurt me no more. Kakushi Goto. Man is a erotic artist. He has a young daughter. She must never find out what he does. Ken Cole. Oh boy. I mean, it's just a glorified advertisement, but it's actually pretty well done. And it's a decent introduction into the whole world of ship girls. Yeah. So, girls who channel the power of not even ancient, who's channel the power of warships to fight evil enemies. I'm not exaggerating. Carnival. Yoi baiting. I'm going to say that and just leave it at that. Keep your hands off Aizoken. If you're into animation, if you're into the idea of animation and what makes a good animation and what drives people to be interested in animation, Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken is a fantastic exploration of that topic. Keijo. For everyone with an ass fetish. If you like big butts, this is your anime. No, I'm not going to tell you anything more than that. If I have to, it's not for you. Kitaro's Yokai Picture Diary. Kind of chill. You know, guy lives with other spirits and just kind of how he lives. Kill la Kill. I really can't describe Kill la Kill. Kill la Kill is just watch it. Just watch it. You know what? I'm not even gonna bother justifying it. Just watch Kill la Kill. Try and figure out what the fuck you would describe Kill la Kill as. Kino's Journey, The Beautiful World, the animated series. Basically, young kid travels the world. Feels like kind of post-apocalyptic, but either way, just guy travels the world. I'll leave it at that, though. Any other twists and surprise about it? You can figure out on your own. Kisniver. I guess you could call it a action, sort of a mystery anime, I guess. Trying to figure out the several mysteries. Kyoso Giga. Interesting art style, if nothing else. Lady Death. Heavy metal. That's about all I'll say. Laid Back Camp. Cute girls camping. If I have to explain anything more, then it's probably not for you. Life Lessons with Uramichi Onisan. Burnout surviving by working on a kid's TV show. That's about good. Lord El Malloy, The Seconds, Case Files, Rail Zeppelin, Grace Note. Actually takes place in the Fate universe. This is a side story to the entire series, and is probably one of my absolute fucking favorites. Love After World Domination. Red Ranger falls in love with the evil leader, with one of the evil generals. They are disgustingly cutesy with each other, and they are desperately trying to cover up their romance. Love is Like a Cocktail. I believe just as short as I Can't Understand My Husband. So, I believe the episodes are only like 3 minutes. Let's see if I remember correctly. Yeah, I'm thinking they're like... Let's see. So, putting it back up for you folks. Boom. Yep, you guys get to see my sexy art. While I... Nope, wrong one. Alright, so let's see. How long is... It is... a grand total of... 3 minutes. So it's another short form anime. And... this one is... Love is Like a Cocktail. Episode 1. Okay. So, you guys should be blocked. Alright. Love is Like a Cocktail. First glass, Pum Split. So, our main protagonist, Mizusawa Oshito. And she stays late to help out. she wants to repay her, so... Oh, the pushy one. Yep. Nope, just want the pretty woman. And she comes home. Comes home to her husband, who has a dinner made and some drink. And she takes a drink and downs the whole thing. Hair comes down. And she loves it. So she's actually an aficionado of drinks. And I love that they give you the recipes too, so... Made dinner for his wife and gave her some drink. Just everything she needs after a long, hard day at work. And she just wants to cuddle with her husband. And they fucked furiously. Yeah, and they're married. So it's just that she doesn't like anyone to see her drunk. And it's just her... And again, it's a little cute series. So, yeah. So there you go. That's another one to go for. Love is Like a Cocktail. If you want something real quick and kind of easy to watch without being overly... Oh. Turned up my mic way too high. There we go. About there. Should be good. Sorry about that, folks. Didn't realize I was speaking that high. But yeah. Okay. So we should be good there. Sorry, I was just checking my dropped frames. But yeah. So, Love is Like a Cocktail is another fantastic one. Love of the Kill is... Wait, what did I forget to do? Turn off. There we go. So yeah, Love is Like a Cocktail is a fantastic one-off. Again, real short watch if you want to. Love of Kill. Basically, cop and assassin romance. He falls in love with her, and it's just everything that falls out of there from there. Lucky Star. Cute girls, cute high school girls, kind of just doing stuff. Very lighthearted, whimsical, and just kind of silly. Nice, easy watch if you ever want to. Like Chorus Recoil. John Wick. Gender swapped John Wick that doesn't kill. Really interesting. Not interesting, but really kind of awkward and cute. Lots of Yuri baiting. Magi. How'd they put it? I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. High fantasy, big action series. That's a lot of fun. So, I'm going to say that's That's definitely one that you can watch pretty easily. Magia Record, Puella Magica Madoka Side Story. Okay, here's what I'm going to say. This is a series you watch after you watch the original Madoka Magica, preferably if you've watched Rebellion as well. It's an interesting thing, but it is just a side story to the world. So, starting with that is not going to be your best. Magical Somero-chan, Makai Oji, Midnight Occult Civil Service. All three of these I've not really sat down and watched. None of which seemed... I started to, and I just kind of fell off them for other stuff, so I have to go back. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Love is love. Love wins, love is love. That is how I will describe that show. Miss Koritsu from the Monster Development Department. Basically, she's one of the villains who develops the monster of the week that Power Rangers fight. And it's her life, and it is actually well done, and it is a lot of fun. Mobile Fighter, Mob Psycho. Stunning fucking art. And a lot of very good themes overall. Really well done. The Gundam series. Okay. If you want my personal suggestions on which ones to watch, it will come down to the original Mobile Suit Gundam, so that you have context for what the rest of them are. Then from there, for those who don't understand the Gundam series, there are different universes and times where the series takes place. Start with Mobile Suit Gundam, and that gives you an idea of what the baseline story and events would be. Double Zeta. Okay, then you would want Mobile Suit Gundam Zeta. That is actually what takes place not right after, but after. Mobile Suit Gundam Zeta is after the original. Double Zeta is after that. I can suggest those three. Let's see. Then from there, G Gundam is its own universe and is probably one of the most fun, questionably racist on some levels, but still just kind of silly enough that it passes the... It's like Looney Tunes. You could call some things racist, and it isn't that they aren't, but they're such of a parody that you kind of lose the impact of how bad it is. Mobile Suit Gundam 00. Pretty good overall. Again, its own self-contained universe. Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. This is one of my absolute favorites. Like, this is just a series that is top-notch. We don't have the 8th MS team, so I don't think... So that's one of my absolute favorites, is the 8th MS team, Iron-Blooded Orphans, and more recently, The Witch from Mercury. Well done overall. Monogatari's second season, which I believe is the actual sequel to Bake Monogatari. Monster Girl Doctor. Monster Girl Doctor is... like someone making their fetish into an anime. Mr. Villain's Day Off. A cute idea of like a Power Rangers villain trying to just enjoy his day away from everybody, and how frustrating that attempt can be. Miss Koizumi loves ramen noodles. It's cute girls eating ramen. Miss Vampire lives in my neighborhood. An adorable, awkward Yuri baiting where girl falls in love with vampire and everything kind of extends from there. Modern vampire who, like, she just orders her blood online. Like, she doesn't need to eat to devour people. She can just order it online, and yeah, she's been alive long enough. She's picking up off the stock market. Murder Princess. Look, if the title alone don't sell you, I can't really do much for you, folks. Mushi Shi. A series that defines the phrase, you just vibe with it. Like, there's some dramatic and wonderful events, but mainly, you're just kind of there for the chill vibe. Musha Bugyo. Again, edgy teen kind of thing. That isn't bad, and it's a lot of fun. Dumb of ass, heart of gold, main character, always a plus. God, Mushoku Tensei. Okay, that's another one of those. I love it, but you guys would have to pay me because I'm going to have to sit there and deal with a lot of uncomfortable talking. Like, I'm willing to, but you guys are going to have to pay me because there's way too much shit I'm going to have to say that's going to be turned clippable. My daughter left the nest and returned as an S-rank adventurer. Is it still a harem if you're not actually going to fuck any of them? Like, man picks up a harem of daughters. Not women he's looking to sleep with, daughters. My dress-up darling. The outgoing girl picks up the nerd boyfriend. It's so good. It's what so many of us wish for. Let's see. My Little Monster, my love story, and my mental choices are completely interfering with my... Yeah, no, these three are also just kind of... they're good, but they don't stand out as like, they aren't necessary to watch. They're all charming in their fun little ways. But, yeah. Okay, I have to pull this up for nothing else. Oh, come on, they don't use the... My life as a villainess. All routes lead to doom. Isekai main character dumbasses her way through... Charmingly dumbasses her way through her story as the villain of the story. It is fantastic. It is a riot. And... I'm sorry. I was hoping they'd blow up the picture here for the actual art. Because it's basically a recreation of The Last Supper. Using the cast. And I cannot tell you how charming that is. Mysteria Friends. A.K.A. Awkward Lesbians. You got it. Non-Baka. Awkward Gay Men. You got it. Neko Monogatari Black. You know how I said about people turning their fetish into an... I'm sorry, I can't keep doing it, but it is true. Like, this one more than any of the other ones. Neko Monogatari is absolutely... There were a particular few fetishes that just kind of got worked into that one. New game. Cute girls making video games. Very heavy-handed Yuri baiting aside. It's not bad. It's adorable. Nichijou, My Ordinary Life. Kind of the same thing as Gintama. If Nichijou is, just because we're being funny doesn't mean we don't know how to make something fucking amazing. You've probably seen people clip shit from this show and just use it in other ways. Yeah. Nichijou is just a mind meme field, a meme like field to just grow stuff from. Nier Automata. I played the game, so I haven't watched the actual anime. I should sit down and do so at one point, but we'll get there. Ningen Fushin. Adventurers who don't believe in humanity will save the world. One drunk night, 4 adventurers got together because all of them had been fucked over by the rest of every people they trusted. So, they started working together based solely on that drunken night. And the fact that since none of them trust each other, they tend to be fair with each other. Kind of a story of bonding over broken hearts. It helps. Yeah, if you can find people, it definitely helps. Ninja Girl and Samurai Master. An interesting reinterpretation of history. Episodes are relatively short, if I'm not mistaken. Like, none of the episodes are that long. And they did quite a few, actually. And it's basically the story of, well, Oda Nobunaga. Because of course it is. Yeah, 5 minutes per episode. And they just kind of cover events that happened and choices they were made. And, you know, from the perspective of a ninja girl who has been assigned to protect him and serve him. So, yeah, I mean, 27 episodes, 5 minutes apiece, you know, not too bad. Then there's 3 seasons of it. And yeah, I don't think it ever. But yeah, so it's actually one I can fully vouch for. If you're interested, Ninja Girl and Samurai Master are pretty good. Nisei Monogatari. I don't know what to say about Nisei Monogatari. It just kind of exists. No Guns Life. If you're looking for an interesting cyberpunk future kind of thing, it's well done. And the main character has a gun for a head, so... Nyarko-san, another crawling chaos. Eldritch abominations turned into cute anime girls. I'll leave it at that. If that sounds interesting, go for it. Occultic 9. Interesting art style, stories kind of all over the place, but overall pretty nice. Odd Taxi. Oh, Odd Taxi, Odd Taxi. Ah, man. It's a mystery. I'm going to leave it at that. Its genre is mystery. You want to know what's in Odd Taxi? You go watch it yourself and come and report back to me what you think. Even watch 1 episode. Come back and tell me what you think. I'll be waiting. And you don't have to preface with anything other than, I watched an episode of Odd Taxi. I have this and this and this thought. And I'm going to tell you whether or not those answers ever come up. I don't want to spoil a goddamn thing about it. And frankly, that's the best thing I can say about a show. If I don't want to talk about it because it might ruin something, that is the best praise I can get, where I just go, walk in there. If I don't have to preface it anything, yeah, go ahead. Okami-san and her 7 companions. Social anxiety is a bitch. Well, I'll put it that way. That's Okami-san and her 7 companions. Social anxiety is a bitch, and how many different flavors of social anxiety there is. And yeah, fairy tale flavorings for fun. One Piece. Okay. I've been reading the manga, so it's one of those things of, I'm not up to date with the actual anime. I just watch the original manga and we go from there. Orisuke, are you the only one who loves me? an interesting yandere, and well done, like, story about different characters running the tropes of the constant romance anime and completely changing up the rules. So, yeah. Other Side Picnic. Look, if they weren't, if they didn't out and out right, they, like, it is very much heavy-handed in what it does, but it is goddamn Yuri baiting in the worst and best ways. Otome Yaokai Zakuro. The art's pretty, I'll give it that. Story's kind of all over the place / shit, but at least it's pretty. Oran High School Club. High School Host Club. If you think... When you don't think you're an egg and you start watching it and things start to click into place. Gender is just an idea, folks. Gender is just an idea. Owari Monogatari. Kind of a side story to the Monogatari series, really, in my opinion. Overall, well done, and does advance certain characters and gives some depth to them. But overall, kind of just a side series to it. Pound de Peace. Cute Girls Making Bread. Pandora's Heart. Weird Action Show. Paranoia Agent. I can't suggest this show to anyone. Not because I don't enjoy it. I love Paranoia Agent. There is so much to it. But this is also a gatekeep show. I would have to sit here and we'd have to talk incessantly about what they're presenting and the ideas presented. And that's before I get out of the opening. There is so much to each episode, and it comments so hard on societal things. And while some of them are intrinsic to just Japan, a good number of them are pretty universal to any society. So, oi, Paranoia Agent. 10 out of 10, but that 10 has a huge goddamn asterisk right next to it. Please tell me, Galko-chan. Girls discussing girl problems as they mature. Like, I think, if we just look at the episode titles, it'll tell you. Is it true that you're a gyaru? Is it true that you're a rich girl? Is it true that you're an otaku girl? Is it true that you can't help moaning? Is it true that you're a big sister? Is it true that underwear is embarrassing? Is it true about the boy at the pool? Is it true you have horrible bedhead? Is it true you're scared of holes? Is it true you come to school after being out you came to school after being out all night? Is it true that butts are culture? Is it true you're friends forever? That, and of course, naturally, because the main girl is so busty, of course, there is endless porn of them. Pretty Boy Detective Club. The most questionable type of yoi. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Pretty Boy Detective Club is the most questionable type of yoi. Yaoi. Sorry. The most questionable type of yaoi. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that'll be work for it. Princess Connect. Redive. It doesn't have any right to have as good of animation and such as it does when it's just an advertisement for a mobile game. But I can't argue that it doesn't have really good animation and the stories are lighthearted and relatively fun and cute. And they have way too much fun make with the fact that the main protagonist is basically mute. Princess Jellyfish. People coming, people coming out of their shell and finding, new things about themselves. Psycho Pass. I can't think of anywhere other than Japan where that kind of show would be made. Where they have everything dictated by a system. But there it is. Like a literal computer system dictates your life. Puella Magi Madoka Magica. If you've ever heard of Sailor Moon or have any concept of that show, this is the one that was the edgy version. And the problem is, it was well done as the edgy version. Because normally, the edgy version is trash. No, this one works out pretty well. It may not hold up perfectly, but at least it makes a relative sense of why people saw it as sort of a edgy outlier. Reborn to master the blade, from hero king to extraordinary squire. Guy gets isekai'd gets re-isekai'd as a young woman and dedicates their life to mastering the sword. It's alright. It's not great. It's a mediocre at best. Recovery of an MMO junkie. Title says it all, really. Romance, that kind of thing. Romantic rehabilitation. Reign of the Seven Spellblades. Harry Potter if it had any balls. I said it. Harry Potter if it had any balls. Restaurant to Another World. Possibly one of the most comfy, interesting shows where it's kind of a reverse isekai in that isekai people come to a modern setting to eat food. That's the basic concept, and it's well done for what it is. Revenger. I mentioned earlier the whole what teens view as edgy and mature. That's Revenger. That is very much Revenger. And it is well done for what it is, and that I enjoyed my time with it. Oh boy. Rin, daughter of Nemesis. Doesn't count as Yuri baiting if she's actually a lesbian. And my god, it has the most metal opening of any anime I've ever seen. I'm going to say that right out point blank. If there is any anime that has a metal opening, I'm sorry. For those of you who thought Death Note's What's Up People was metal, no. That was Screamo. That's at best. No. Rin's daughter of Nemesis, Alsatia. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a metal opening. Robotech. About as old as Gundam, just different series and far more trapped in legal battles than Gundam ever is. Gundam, they just block you out constantly. Raka, Brave of the Six Flowers. Kind of an interesting... horny show. Horny. But interesting little sort of save the world plot. Room Camp. Basically a spin-off of Laid Back Camp. Escride. If you like punching people, this is your show. Sagabu. Sabagebu. Survival game club. Cute girls with airsoft guns. Saga of Tanya the Evil. Man gets isekai'd as little girl, joins military. Why? You'll find out as you watch the show. It's that good. Sayuki Reload. It's a journey to the West, sort of interpretation with the same teen edgy kind of mentality. Sakugan. Kind of otherworldly experience of trying to find something in a sort of underground post-apocalyptic world. Sakura Quest. Um, small town, finding redemption in a small town. I'll call it that. Samurai 7, a fucking legend. Samurai Champloo, fucking legendary. Sankaria. Undying Love. Oh, man. Horror romance. Yeah, I'm going to call it that. Horror romance. Saving 80,000 gold in another world for my retirement. I didn't watch it the whole way through, so I couldn't. Sengoku Yoko. Fucking fantastic. Just fantastic. Can utterly suggest that to anyone. Servamp. Yaoi baiting with yaoi baiting with a lot of a very confused storyline. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Satan Academy. Someone sat down with an episode of National Geographic and just started pulling random facts and just kind of wanted to make jokes about things. Shadow's House. One of the coolest mystery shows I have ever watched. And I only look forward to more. I hope they get to eventually. Shikimori's not just a cutie. She's also a badass, and that's... yeah. Basically, watch the first episode, and if you see the ending credits, that'll explain the show pretty much entirely. Shimonetta, a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist. What happens when you repress and force people to be non-perverted, basically. Shy. Shy is a superhero. Shy is a shy superhero. There you go. I'm not saving you a click. I'm telling you what the basic premise is. If that sounds interesting, feel free. It's a lot of fun for what it is. Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. Princess gets kidnapped by Demon King. Princess doesn't care. Princess finds Demon's King place, needs to, and just wants to sleep. Chaos ensues. Slow Loop. Don't know, remember that one. So I'm a Spider, so what? Isekai with a fun, interesting concept where she doesn't get isekai'd as some overpowered person or somebody blessed. She gets reincarnated as a spider in a fucking dangerous dungeon. She's a monster. It's an interesting concept in the way she adapts and has to fight her way through. It's well done. Somali and the Forest Spirit. Okay. This is like if it was for my daughter, I would even fight the Demon Lord. Somali and the Forest Spirit is very much I dread the day I ever look through my anime list and they say, oh yeah, the new season's coming out. Because my god, this is one of those two series that just grabs you by the heart and slowly digs their nails in and squeezes and goes, dare me to make this hurt more. Soul Eater. Another meme factory. That's about it. That's what I'm going to call Soul Eater. It's a meme factory. Speed Grapher. I don't know what the fuck this, I'll never understand this art for the page here. For Speed Grapher here on the left. Speed Grapher is a mystery anime that is very tied in with being horny. And it is interesting with the way it does it. I can only say I enjoyed the hell out of my time with it. Spice and Wolf. There's the classic, and Spice and Wolf Burchett Meets the Wise Wolf, which is the newer redone version with the upgraded visuals. So, same story as far as I'm aware, just, retold in slightly different ways. Spy X Family. Spy X Family is adorable. It is a comedy anime that runs on an interesting family unit and is a lot of fun. Also, the Anya face. This is the origin of that creepy Anya face. Super Cub. It's just an advertisement for Honda bikes, but damn if they don't do some good Yuri baiting while with it. Tacked Up, and of course it's right next to Tacked Up Destiny, which was a surprisingly, again, one of those cases where they went so hard for something that is just actually a advertisement for an online game. Bravo! You know what? Bravo fucking oh for that. Tagame Bachi Leather Bee. Just a fun, not lighthearted, because it can get dark at times, but interesting art style anime about a leather carrier. Tenjo Tenge. You want to punch people? This is punching people. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Yeah, no, I got nothing more to say. It's fantastic and it's a fun ride. Oh, gods, I just forgot I even had... We may end up watching this. This is probably one of my absolute favorite anime. The Ancient Magus Bride. From a lot of the themes and the feelings towards it, this is definitely one of my absolute favorites. Apothecary Diaries. Interesting, mystery anime that's very intelligent in the way they do things, and the main character is a lot of fun. The Case Study of Vanitas. One of the most interesting versions I've ever seen of the vampire mythology, and one I absolutely can recommend. The Eccentric Family 1 and 2. Effectively, it's about shapeshifting Tanuki trying to get by in the modern world. The Faraway Paladin. It's technically an isekai, but that comes up so little, I don't mind it that much. And it's really well done for what it is, and the story and world are interesting, so... And it's... Honestly, all in all, I would say this is one of the best ways you could show. This is how you do an anime. This is how you do an isekai. Fire Hunter, very interesting art style. The Future Diary. Mirai Nikki. It is well done for what it is, and it's nowhere near as cracked as people think it is. That's the best way to put it. Next up, Garden of Sinners. Oh, man. Some of UFO's early and best work. It is not simple, it is not easy to deal with, but it is fan-fucking-tastic. The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt. You know, how a realist reformed the kingdom is kind of too self-congratulatory and beating themselves off as the mental powerhouse versus the regular power fantasy. This is a guy actually trying to get his nation out of debt so he can get out of it. And it just works so much better. The Girl from the Other Side, cute fairy tale style. Overall, well done. The God of High School. I read the original webtoon while it was releasing. I love it to death. It's a lot of fun. And as the anime, they've had to change things, but it's still fun, so, still solid 7 or 8. High School Life of Fudanshi, it's a little too specific and niche for some people. Ice Guy and his cool female colleague, basically cute office romance. The magical revolution of the reincarnated princess and the genius young lady. Again, it's not Yuri baiting if they're actually lesbians. So, yeah. Well done overall. The masterful cat is depressed again today. Girl failure who lives with a overly competent cat. Promised Neverland. I wish I could recommend this. Good God, I wish I could recommend Promised Neverland. Maybe someday down the line, someone will make it and make it properly. Because as it stands, it stands as a promise broken, really. Not even Neverland. The title's appropriate because it's never going to happen, but the manga itself stands as a fantastic, riotous ride. This was not it, what they should have given us. The Royal Tutor. There's some yaoi baiting in it, but honestly, more than anything, it's just kind of... It's a decent show. 5 or 6. I give it a 6 or a 7. The Saint's magic powers omnipotent. Slow burn romance of an isekai. And I guess if you're not into slow burn, if you want something upfront about it, no. Slime Diaries. That time I got reincarnated as slime has a second. This is basically a side series depicting a year time skip, basically. And the fact that they felt the need to make a series as a side for a year skip says a lot about how good the series is. The Tale of Outcasts. I don't know how to describe it beyond... Girl and otherworldly being travel to enjoy life and learn about each other. The Unwanted Undead Adventurer. Interesting fantasy story of someone who felt himself useless, finding his own worth. The Weakest Tamer began a journey to pick up trash. Again, kind of like Unwanted Undead, it's kind of someone who is weakest of the weak, but finding value in their own life. This boy is a professional wizard. And it's not gay baiting if you're actually gay. To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts. A good parable for PTSD, actually. Today's menu for the Emiya family. After the Fate series rips out your heart for a while, and you want to feel something again, watch this show to make you feel all warm and fuzzy, and then realize how heartbreaking this can't possibly happen. Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. I don't know enough about it to really say anything. I just picked it, put it on watch list so I remember to watch it at some point. Tokyo Ghoul or Tokyo Ghoul. An interesting series that I kind of feel like peters off towards the end. Tower of God. Fuck Rachel. Why do I say fuck Rachel? Just fuck Rachel. All my homies hated Rachel. That's all I'm gonna say. Trigun. The original 90s anime. Peaceful gunslinger. As oxymoronic as that may sound. Trigun Stampede. Kind of a remake of the original Trigun. And we're all kind of expecting a second season. Because for many of us, we now know that there has to be more. And we're wondering how close it's going to get to the original. Trinity Blood. Everyone in this series is painfully fucking pretty. Like, it honestly hurts how pretty these people are. Trinity Blood is way too pretty for its own good. Tsukamichi, Moonlit Fantasy. It goes some dark places, but it is a well and loving isekai that understands what makes it interesting, and it does cross into power fantasy and power creep kind of thing. But the funny bit is, it never at that point crosses up where that's unjustified, where you can see the main character just being an asshole. Just give me a sec. Alright, sorry about that. But yeah, I enjoyed Tsukamichi. Sukin Monogatari, again, side series to the Monogatari. Undead Murder Farce. Actually, pretty good. Basically, otherworldly like murder mysteries. Really well done. Villainous level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the demon lord. Yeah, gamer gets reincarnated as character in story, proceeds to break game in half. Vinland Saga. Whew. Vinland Saga. It's a journey. It is a true traditional idea of a journey that is well done. Wakukaze. Basically another of the... I'm similar to I Can't Understand My Husband and Love is Like a Cocktail. This is another one of just someone after work looking for food to eat and just enjoying various snacks and treats. I can absolutely suggest it. The episodes are like 5 minutes, so it's a quick watch. Welcome to the NHK. If you have social anxiety, watch this. See how you feel and see if it can help you cope with it a little. Witch Hunter Robin. For all of us who will never stop being a goth. That's all I'll say regarding that. Witchblade. Titillation. That's the word I'm going to use for regarding that. Titillation. Wonder Egg Priority. A confused little show. I'm not entirely sure what the hell the point was. Waganaria. Basically working at a kooky restaurant full of weirdos. Sure. Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon. The successor to the famous Inuyasha series of anime. And that's all I'm going to say regarding that. Yona of the Dawn. Interesting Chinese-inspired adventure action anime that really does a good job of filling out its main cast and characters. Yu Yu Hakusho. You want to punch ghosts? This is how you punch ghosts. That doesn't really apply in this show, but it's still fun. Lots of punching, fighting, really good English dub. Really good English dub. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I actually managed to finally finish that, and I can say it was a nice ride. I have to move on to some of the other next Yu-Gi-Ohs, but yeah. And then Yuri on Ice. It's not gay bait. It's not yaoi baiting if it's actually gay. But yeah, honestly, of the things we've gone over tonight for my watch list, it's like Ascendance of a Bookworm or oh, who am I kidding? I'm someone who suffers from depression. So Ancient Magus Bride, yeah. Yeah, I think that'll be it. Hitori Chise has lived a life full of neglect and abuse, devoid of anything resembling love. Far from the warmth of a family, she has had her share of troubles and pitfalls. Just when all hope seems lost, a fateful encounter awaits her. When a man with the head of a beast wielding strange powers obtained her through a slave auction, Chise's life will never be the same again. The man is a magus, a sorcerer of great power, who decides to free Chise from the bonds of captivity. The magus then makes a bold statement. Chise will become his apprentice and his bride. So, Season 1. Alright. So yeah, then we go to what we'll be watching, which is and return my cover up. Okay. So, turn down the volume for me so I don't feel like I have to talk over it. Okay. So, Episode 1, April Showers Bring May Flowers. Hitting play in 3, 2, 1. 若し Always love a good Spanish guitar. Yeah. Opening song still so good. Chise Hattori. Alright. It's been a long time since I watched this. And with that, she's chained herself up. To think how desperate someone has to be to willingly do this to themselves. To truly believe it doesn't matter anymore. If you've never been there, it's not an easy thing. Yep. In a world where magic is real and monsters live alongside us just hidden. Yeah.
こちらが皆様お待ちかねの品。今回出品された商品の中でも大変希少なものです。では50から110、150、180、200。お前、あれを見ろ。なんでこんな225。あいつは一人でいる話だったが。225。他にどなたかいらっしゃいませんか？お客様。500
$5 million.
決めた。僕の弟子にする。
And he takes her.
あの不気味な野郎。応接室の用意を。
$5 million.
500万ポンドのお支払いです。
$5 million pounds. Okay, so he's British.
この人は何なんだろう。
まさかあなたがこの競りに顔を出すとは思いませんでした。しかしルールを守っていただかないと困りますよ。いきなり舞台。小言も世間話もいらないよ。君、おいで。うつむかなくていいよ。背筋を伸ばしてしっかり前を見る。いいね。はい。控え室を借りるよ。どうぞ。
And we begin.
聞こえますよ。口を慎みなさい。あれは詐欺師でも魔術師でもない。今時珍しい本物です。
A true Magus. Keep your head held high and look forward. Slay beggar.
やっぱり見えるのかい？それ。
私ですか？
僕が今一緒にいるのは君しかいないだろう。名前は？
知性。羽鳥知性です。
僕はエリアス。エリアス・エインズワース。よろしくね。僕のパピー。
Calls her a puppy.
どうやら君はきちんと見える目を持っているようだ。運がいい。
あんなお荷物引き取れないわよ。
And all the things that weigh down on you. And the way people talk about you. You want to shut it out. You know consciously it shouldn't matter, but it does.
よかったことなんて一度もない。
いつか君が良かったと思えるようにしよう。 際そんな無気力でいられると僕が困るんだ。人形も悪くないけど、せっかく高値で買ったものだろう。
The pipes. I fucking love the bagpipes.
さあ、目をつぶって僕にくっついて。目がくらむかもよ。影にリラックス。ヒイラギの馬、トエに旗絵に、雲の水筒、かの枝に紡ぐ。目開けていいよ。
And they've arrived. A quiet little home. Picturesque.
さすがだな。ひとっ飛びだ。ここが僕の家。そして今日から君が暮らす家でもある。
ちょっと待ってください。ここはどこですか？建物の中からどうやってここに？
ここはロンドンの西、イングランドの端っこの田舎。
イングランド。それに弟子って。
ああ、ほら、もうそれは必要ないね。
Pops it easily.
君は魔法使いの弟子になったのさ。
魔法使い。
絶滅寸前、時代遅れがつくけどね。君を僕の弟子として歓迎するよ、スレイベナ。いや、知性。
What we all seek, a home to be welcome to.
いや一人でできます。お風呂くらい一人で。
使い勝手がわからないだろ。それに小汚いから洗ってあげるよ。
Her, she still has natural hesitance and embarrassment.
猫の子みたいに騒がないの。肩まで掴んないと温まらないよ。
全部見られた。
温まったら出てね。
Doesn't realize that Elias is mostly an asexual being. Like, he clearly doesn't care what she looks like.
またお風呂にしっかり入れるとは思わなかったな。
But it would be some. Unfortunately, I'm like 6'3", so I would never fit in a regular bathtub.
あなたを欲しいと思う誰かにあなたを預けてみますから。
Give yourself to somebody who may want you. I can't deny there are feelings some days, though, that's tempting. To just give myself up to whoever would want me.
なんだか美味しそうな匂いがすると思ったら可愛い人の女の子じゃないの。妖精。私たちは人間の言葉で言うなら確かに妖精だけど、でもそんな無粋な言葉で呼んだらダメよ。そうそう、お隣さんとかいい友達とか。ねえ、あなたスレイベガよね。スレイベガを弟子にするなんて、茨の魔法使いはおかしな真似をするものね。古の金貨より妖精の国に咲くどんな花より尊い蜂蜜酒。かわいいかわいい、私たちのロビン。愛するあなたが魔法使いになるなら、私たちはいくらだって力を貸したい。
Well, they're coming on strong, aren't they?
愛。
大丈夫？のぼせてない？
あ、はい、大丈夫です。だから入ってこなくて大丈夫です。
They ran away from him.
とりあえず飲んだり食べたりして落ち着いてよ。
Wow, that's a full fucking meal, my friends. Cute maid.
本当に歓迎されてるみたい。
いろいろと知りたいって顔だ。寝物語の代わりに答えられることなら答えてあげよう。
It'll be like a bedtime.
さっき妖精が。
ああ、エアリエルか。君に挨拶に行ったんだね。あいつら新しいものに敏感だし。
Oh.
そうですか。あなたが魔法使いというのは本当ですか？
本当さ。
A phoenix.
じゃあ弟子というのは。
弟子は弟子だよ。僕のパディ。スレイベガはほとんどいないから、今日はとても幸運だったよ。
Food's really good, huh?
そのスレイベガって何なんですか？
あえて言うなら、女王蜂かな。
Queen bee.
君は、いや、君たちスレイベガは、あらゆるものを引きつけ、捉えることができてしまうんだ。妖精や怪異。彼らは女王蜂が見えようが見えまいが、関係なくよる働き蜂なのさ。
見えまいが。
知性は見えるようだけど、君たちに
So she had the unfortunate combination of being able to attract monsters or creatures while also being able to see them.
幸を運んでくる。
不幸。
彼らの親切と行為が人間にとってためになるとは限らない。
Ah.
けれど好かれるということは助けに困らないということでもある。
So you'll always have access to
魔
them.
法は彼らの助けを借りる必要があるから、とても大事な素質なんだ。君はきっととてもいい魔法使いに
So were the monsters always there? Like the one on her lap
あれ
there.
しろこれしろ勇気はないけど、
でもそれって花から拒否権ないですよね。
ははは、まあね。でも悩んだって構わないさ。魔法使いだって無数にある道の一つ。君はもう家族のようなものなんだから、甘えてくれて構わない。
A feeling. Yeah.
これはまじないの石。川底で自然に穴の開いたものでね、君を守る石だ。あげるよ。銀の君、疲れたろう。今夜はもうお休み。彼女を案内してくれるかい？
Bit plain, but it looks comfy. Yeah. And a nice place to stay.
ちゃんとした寝床までくれた。
Family.
不思議な香り。草の匂いかな。
Hmm. Smell of fresh fields. Wish I could enjoy it without sneezing like crazy.
小せ
さっきのお隣さん。
ねえねえ、夜のお散歩に行かない？この辺りにはいい森があるの。
でも
いいからいいから、ちょっとぐらいいいじゃない。お散歩してちょっと疲れてぐっすり。
She was already sleeping well before you got there. But whatever.
仕方のないことだな。いい授業になるか
Oh, and what lesson will that be? Still, I do love this. The art is fantastic.
明るいね。私たちを通った後よ。知性はこれも見えるのね。
Yeah.
家族は？
Just
親
pe-
戚に引き取られたよ。
just people who you lived with.
優しくってはチセ
好きになれてたら私は今ここにいなかったかもしれないね。
Yeah. The look of all the animals watching.
ねえ、もうだいぶ歩いたよ。
大丈夫大丈夫、むしろもっと奥に行かなきゃ。あなたはもう戻らなくたっていいんだから。
There it is.
せっかく茨の魔法使いをだまくらかせたんだもの。
どういうこと？
ちゃんと私たちの国に導いてあげないと他の子に怒られちゃうわ。人の世界に暮らすよりもずっと楽ちんなはずだから。
So she wants to take her to the Feylands.
ちょうど空いてる。ここから先が妖精の国。楽しい楽しい、私たちとあなたの世界。
ちょっと。
行きましょう。
But she has to convince her to go.
あら、どこに？待ってる家族もいないのに。だったらこっち側で楽しくおかしく暮らしましょう。
そうだね。
The materialization, the presence of that feeling of nagging, dragging her back. The Fae pushing her in. That is such great art.
チセ、どうしたの？
いけない。
Gripping her own arm.
私は帰らなきゃ。
どうして？あの家に帰らなきゃならない理由なんてあなたにはないでしょ？
今までここにいていいって言われたことがなかった。でもあの人は言ってくれたから、おもちゃだと思ってても
I'm going to pause it here
取られるでもいいよ。一度だけでも
at 20 minutes. At 20 minutes, I want to pause this and talk about this for a little bit, because this is something that a lot of people may not get, because it's not the common thing. Is a lot of people, he told me I was family, even if it was just that once. For someone who's been neglected, someone who has been hurt by those who they wish they could trust, being told that you are welcome, that you are loved, is addictive. To being told that you would be desired, for someone to want you, can be that want and desire to be wanted, to be loved, to be accepted, can be so powerful that it puts people to put themselves through things they shouldn't, to endure farther than they should, and to do things they might not do otherwise. There's no way to tell that person you're making a mistake and make them listen and understand that yes, it will be, and they won't always look back at it fondly. I know I did. I know I was pulled in like that at one point. I moved halfway across the country for someone once. Picked up my entire life to try and help them out, make their lives better, to be there for them. It didn't even last 3 months, I don't believe. And I don't know. I wish I could say I look back on those times fondly. That, you know, it was a great experience and I learned from it. I can't say I do. I think it's been about a decade at this point. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. But I did pick up and move. Picked up my entire life. And I can't say I can't say I made the right decision. And after I left, I never spoke to that person again. Even though I thought we were close, but I was used and thrown away. And I wish that wasn't a theme in my life. So, yeah, if anything, it's hard for me to say, but I can very much appreciate how Chisei's feeling of that feeling of wanting to be somewhere, to have someone just accept you and welcome you and just be with you. That never stops feeling like that. And for those of us who remain loyal, who remain lonely, it may never come. Today's my 37th birthday, and I'm sitting here talking into the void about a show. I'll never be famous. I'll never be popular. I know this, and I've come to accept it. But, at the very least, I can share that the legacy I'll leave behind is nothing more than the acceptance of this is myself. I am Reflem Sorajian, otherwise known as the Ephemeral One. And this is who I am. I will be a genetic dead end from which no child will spawn, and for who, well, I will leave this world without leaving my genes behind. I am not loved. I am not wanted. And I've never once had someone tell me they wanted me here and they wanted me to be family. There are people I'm related to biologically, but I've never felt that strongly of a tie of family to any of them. As sad and pathetic as that is the simple truth. And I'm sure that no one will watch this, and it'll just be me, as I ever, talking into the void. Well, happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Let's finish up the episode. Hitting play in 3, 2, 1.
僕のパピーはもうきちんと自分の巣を覚えたみたいだね。
エリアス、そうなんでここが分かったの？
首輪と鈴がついてるからね。うせろ、今回は見逃してやる。次はサラマンダーの餌だ。
半端者に私たちのロビンを守れるかしら？
言われるまでもないさ。
答えはいつでも変えていいからね。
She has an open invitation to the realm of the fairies.
せこれでいい経験になっただろう。彼らの多くは甘い言葉で誘惑してくる厄介なものなんだ。もっとこれから気をつけなね。
ごめんなさい。
いや、僕も真っ先に教えておくべきだったんだ。
A lesson.
これが君にとっての僕の役目なんだから。君はもう僕の弟子なんだから頼りなさいね。
暖かいけどなんだかこわばってるような気がする。
何するんですか？
夜の森は迷いやすい。こうやって帰ろう。僕らの家に。
Let's go home.
帰ったらその手を手当てしないとね。未来の僕の奥さんに傷が残っちゃ大変だ。
奥さん？誰が誰の？
あれ、言ってなかったっけ？君を買ったのはもちろん弟子にするつもりでもあるけど。僕 僕は君を僕のお嫁さんにするつもりでもあるんだ。
はい。
And just this charming, soft piece at the end. Just overall. Just, CGs of the end of just Chisei, Chisei's room and just the locations. Overall, it's such of an excellent opening. And just, I don't know. I love it. It's one of my favorite shows, and it's just something I wanted to share with you all. I couldn't say if I'm more Chisei or Elias, but it's one of those things of I can understand from both perspectives. And I guess that's where I'm going to push myself to do more types of streams and different things, not just play games. Because there's so much more out there than just the games, and I love them. And I just want to share more with people. Because you know what? I'm not going to have a child to leave a legacy behind. I doubt the videos I make or the games I play will mean much of anything.
魔法使いと共にロンドンへ向かう少女。見知らぬ街、見知らぬ人。孤独だった少女に世界は優しく手を差し伸べるが。
But yeah, I am extremely lonely. And that's what I have to admit. And I may never find someone to be my Elias. Or be the person who extends my hand to. I may have to extend a hand to someone. So I may not find someone who gives me a home. So I continue to extend my hand to people in hopes that someday I'll be the one extending a hand to someone else, and maybe we can make a home together. That's my sincere wish. But if I'm honest, I don't ever expect it to come to pass. 37 years has taught me that I shouldn't expect much for my life. After all, the world is not so kind as I wish it to be, nor as cruel as we make it out to be. I guess, you know what? Yeah, let's continue on for one thing. Oof. Sorry about flashbanging, everyone. But, I guess the thing we should do. World Anvil. Create a new article. Look familiar? So, I am the ephemeral one. Who am I? Or better yet, let me use my actual name. Reflim Sodegian. Titles. The ephemeral one. The Shadow of Ursala. The God of Heresy. Gotta type his name right if I'm gonna type it. The Shadow of Ursala, the Gada. Which are their honorific titles? Quirk. Equipment desires. What are my desires? Love, satisfaction with artistic pursuits, encouraging others, pursuits, and growth. To not be lonely. It sounds simple, but it is very much not. Facial features. Silver eyes with black slits. Let's see. Black hair. Long or in ponytail, commonly. High cheeks. High sharp cheeks. Pristine fangs. Anything else? Nothing too much beyond that. Let's see. Speech pattern. Soft spoken. I guess pauses often to consider words. Yeah, I guess that is a bad habit. I take a long time to speak, don't I? Tends to be blunt and direct, except when being playful, then they become overly artistic, overly verbose in their vocabulary. Body type. Slim, lean, body, dark blue scales and light and mud colored skin. Emotional state. Contemplative and quiet, usually lost in thought and dismissive of things they're not interested in. Which has got me in trouble in the past. Sight. What do I look like? Oh, body type, skin, scars, assortment of scars. Cross body. Is to wear dark blue and black clothing. Horns, dark clothing with silver jewelry. Okay. Sound. Is there a sound associated with this NPC? Do they squeak, stutter, creak? Tends to make subtle mumbling sounds in regards to others. Or talk flatly. Smell. Usually smells of flowers due to associates and due to associates, really, yeah. Unfortunately, I work with several people who all of which love flowers and will frequently put them on me when I'm not looking because they think it's funny. My skin is soft, as is most clothing, has more of a silken touch. Scales are hard and sharp. Can cut fingers. Hard and sharp. Can cut if not careful. When happy, usually gives out a deep-throated truck. Chuckle and will make comments before walking away. I behave when sad. Will stare into distance and be withdrawn. Won't respond initially and largely or won't or will hide behind a fake smile. If angry, if just annoyed, they will tell the reason why to the person causing it. If actually angry, will approach problem with a smile and solve in the most direct manner possible. Nah. That feels right. I am the ephemeral one. The reason each of my titles has a different reason. The ephemeral one is because the person I am is not the person I started as. The person I am is currently the combination of 3 different souls or 3 different life experiences mashed into a single person. But even that's not the whole thing. The ephemeral one, the person I am, is the result of three major personalities, and then the experiences I've experienced through engaging with the dead. It sounds insane, I know. And I am insane. I consider myself that. So I hope at some point that I can take pride in not leaving behind anyone else, leaving a child behind. Because at the end of the day, no child means that there's no one to pick up my bad habits and my problems. So, with any luck, all I leave behind is some good things for those who come after me. So, yeah. I am the ephemeral one, Reflem Sordagian by name, if you must know. There are three beings that created me. One who is only nameless, and was only known as the Beast of the Valley. Then there was a being known eventually as Iek Osh, translated from Draconic, the Eternal Ocean. Iek Osh was a weapon created by a goddess, and he chose eventually, and after fulfilling his duty to protect the goddess, he chose to end his internal existence. And the goddess was forced to find a method to end something eternal. Well, the simplest answer is you transfer what makes them eternal. Wash it and cleanse it for another one. And that would lead to Subject 15. Her 15th attempt was to create a weapon that could slay the Eternal. And she succeeded on that attempt. He would eventually become known as Rusala Kauten. Or the powerful soul of the four eternal elements. Kauten being a title and name that would belong to the goddess who created him. However, in being an experiment, Subject 15, the goddess had learned that there would be problems recovering the soul based on past experiences. The previous 14 were a varied plethora of mistakes. And so, Lasara prepared a receptacle, a place, and placed it where she would be able to collect the soul easily after the experiment had run its course, whether successful or a failure. Unfortunately, so effectively, I was never meant to know about all this. I was meant to live my life quietly, and just when I would die here, she'd grab my soul, milk out what she need for Rusala Kauten, and no one would be any the wiser. I'd have gotten to live my human life, and that would have been it. But of course, that isn't what happened. what happened is I became aware and began to help Rusala Katen. Help the weapon she created. And in doing so, I became entwined with him so deeply that I spent much of my first, not even 2/3, literally 3/4 of my life, up until a decade ago, I focused purely and pretty resolutely on Rusala, on fulfilling his dreams, his wishes. So much so that I didn't care much for this life, and I still don't. But I'm trying not to throw it away either. But yeah, over the course of 27 years, I managed to help Rusala. Well, no, it was closer to 17 years. Yeah, I'd say about, 19 years. So almost 2 decades I spent of my, more than half my life. Yeah, about half my life now. If I think about it that way. Half of my life was dedicated to my brother, Rusala Katen. I dedicated myself to his freedom. Because as I said, we were created. He was created by the goddess Lasara. Goddess of the 4 eternal elements. Effectively, and I'll show you all in my writing another day. But effectively, we were broken free by Iekosh. We broke free from the imprisonment of her experimentation. And in doing so, we gained a lot. We gained a lot more drive and understanding. And pain as well. The first place we ended up after escaping her, we ended up taking part in a civil war in a kingdom called Legali. In Legali, we were basically the bodyguard / messenger / whatever else he needed to Tophin the Black, a prince of the queendom, basically just looking to do the best for his people. I'll go into that another day. Then, after Tophin, we would work with the girl we met in Legali by the name, well, we just call her Rebecca. She... Come on. You can talk about it. You can talk about it. Come on. Sorry, it's just... Even now there are bitter memories about it. Rebecca was determined. She was smart, but it was more street smart than anything. And after we departed, we had to depart Legali because the goddess Lasara was sending her servants to investigate after the upheaval of the Civil War. So, we left, and we took Rebecca with us. Or rather, we told her to stay, and Rebecca refused. She stuck with us She was foul-mouthed, to say the least. But we managed to also meet on the road. We met a girl by the name of Mahale. This was because Mahale would be the last surviving member of a pirate crew. Rusala and I had never had too much compunction about killing beyond the initial. Rusala was far more hesitant initially, and I was more, I guess, dismissive towards it. I never cared much. I never had a huge value of my life or any other. And when we met Mahale, she was named the captain of the pirate ship, the Maiden's Bane. Because we took out and turned in the bounty on the original captain. And Mahale being the last surviving crew member, well, it made it easy to go and hand her off. And that's when Rebecca set up a crew, basically, and replaced the crew for her, so Mahale could ship out as a proper captain. And she'd been raised on that ship, so she knew how its workings and how to run the rigging and all that. Having been on the ship since she was small enough so that she'd forgotten what village she even came from originally. But we made it to Toluni, a town that would hide us well from any holy eyes. The place was ruled by a lot of death, which empowered the guardian of the place, or the guardian spirits anyway. Toluni was also home to the Shades Pit Arena, where they would accept challengers of all kinds and would allow you to earn some money if you put on a good show and survived. Well, Rusala being a 10-foot well scale covered in rough dragon scale, he handled himself pretty well. But he also won the approval and friendship of someone known as the Bird of the Arena. He was just known as Bird, mostly. Basically, was a gladiatorial combatant who was the champion. And basically, we earned his respect by fighting him, not to a draw. He was going to win. He won. But we survived, and that shocked the hell out of him. And we began training in the arena, acting as a gladiator. Found one of the local families to sponsor us, and they would take the cut based on how big of a crowd we drew in. And we did well. Unlike others, we would be usually pit more against more animalistic opponents rather than groups or teams. But that suited us fine. Those were good times. But all good times come to an end. It was during that time we were coming home from the arena one day, and we were going to meet up with Rebecca. We saw her down the road, and suddenly there was a commotion. Arguments, words flying, and then, before we could react, we saw a bolt bury itself in Rebecca's throat. She died in our arms. And some of the last words she managed to speak out were the words that we had told her back in Legali. Find someone better. We told her that in Legali and left her our treasure. Whatever money Tofin had given us, we gave directly to her. Told her to find someone better. She deserved better than a monster. That's what we believed. Brusala and I both agreed to that. And unfortunately, she didn't survive. And we were left all alone. Just stuck there in Tuluni. We'd survive, but what did that matter? And that's when Mihail came back from a shipping run. We told her what happened, and she swore to find out who had killed her, who had killed Rebecca. Because at the end of the day, Mihail loved her as much as we did. I won't begin to say more, but she definitely loved her. And Rebecca, we tracked down each of the people who were responsible for that argument. Apparently one of the idiots had gotten access to a crossbow and was busy showing it off when they was arguing with a rival family. And it went off accidentally, supposedly. And Rebecca had just been in the wrong place at the wrong time. So we hunted them down. Mihail had us do some dirty jobs to get the information and the money we needed to buy the information. We helped ship drugs, slaves. It didn't matter anymore. We didn't care what we had to do, so long as we got the information of who killed her. And this is where you would expect, where we would hear there would be some big dramatic flashing, big dramatic showdown with the monster who killed her. No, we found him. He was drugged himself. He was petrified of being hunted down after his two friends had died. So he lost himself in whatever drugs he could. I don't even know if he recognized why he was dying before we choked the life out of him. And then it didn't matter. We'd gotten our revenge. Every single body responsible for her death was gone. And then we noticed the building was burning down. You want to know why it's funny? I remember that night because it was my 13th birthday. I remember that feeling. The flames licking everything, slowly consuming everything around us, filling our lungs. It hurt like hell. But it was also the most morbid kind of pleasant. that was the end. That was it. We'd committed whatever black acts we had to. And we just would go up in the fire. And that'd be enough. We did it. A pitiful story for a pitiful creation. It didn't need to be anything else. I remember sitting there, my brother and I just murmuring to ourselves, singing softly as the flames just rose around us and the smoke grew thick enough we couldn't see. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday. And it's been 24 years since then. But of course, the story doesn't end there. I'm still sitting here after all. No. That was when, in our desperation and misery, we felt something we would come to understand fully in the future. But our hand moved. Our fingers tips. Our heads, our feet, our ankle. This creeping sensation took over and lifted us up, and despite the smoke in our lungs, dragged us forward. We were lost and didn't understand it, but our body moved all of its own accord, walking us out of the burning building, out of the city of Chillin, and out into a dark woods. And there we would be pulled back, pulled like a puppet on a string, back to the goddess who'd made us in the first place, back to Lysara, the goddess we'd been dodging and desperately trying to avoid. But we could no longer escape her, and we became her plaything. And deep down, in our very soul of souls, Rusala asked me for one simple thing. An impossible task, but one simple thing. To break that string and to be free. Free to live, free to die, but free all the same. So, we did just that. And I think that's enough memories for now. I know no one watches my videos or listens to me. That's fine. It's the reason the picture I choose and I kept is me talking into the abyss. After all, I don't matter to you all. I'm just a voice on an end of a screen. I'll be gone before you know it, and you'll find something new. I still wish you all the very best. So, I'm going to leave it here for now tonight. Thank you all for joining me. I have been the Ephemeral One, and this has been just a little side content to get it out of my system. I'll see you all next time on something else. Bye for now, folks. Bye for now.